هناك مسائل عديدة جدا.
الذي يجوز إعطاء الزكاة لصنف الواحد،
لأن رسالة محمد عليه الصلاة والسلام خاتمة.
الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. يسرني أن أقدم الحلقة 19 من مقرر اللغة الإنجليزية لطلاب وطالبات المستوى الثاني قسم الدعوة، وكذلك مقرر اللغة الإنجليزية لطلاب وطالبات قسم الشريعة المستوى الرابع. As we you know that we concluded the previous session with some of the grammatical points about be plus going to plus the base form. Now we are going to have another grammatical rule, which is the answer of why, which is because. Look at the slide, and here we say that use because to give a reason. So use because to give a reason. Because answers the question why. So when we have the question starts with why, the answer mostly starts with because. The example of this, as you see, why did Bobby and Bobby McCoy take fertility drug or drugs? So the question, why did Bobby take fertility drugs? So the answer is going to start with because she wanted to have another baby. She wanted to have another baby. So when we start the question with why, the answer is going to start with because. And here, let's go back to the book, page 135, and we go to be, style, and because. These are kind of examples to support, to emphasize our knowledge about the use of because. Let's read together on page 135. At the bottom of the page, we have be, we have style, we have because, and we start with number 1. Match the first part of each sentence with the second part. So match, it means link, يعني اربط. So we have going to connect the first part with the second part. So when we put them together, then we have a good sentence. Write the letter on the line. So for example, we have number 1 and we have a line before this, so we need to write the letter, or we connect them with lines. Bobby McCoy had 7 babies. So what is the answer? And here is B, the other side, which is because she took fertility drugs. So if we want to read this together, so Bobby McCoy had 7 babies because she took fertility drugs. Go to number 2. Some women take fertility drugs because they have trouble becoming pregnant. So number 2, the right choice is A. Number 3, people need to think about the risks. People need to think about the risks. Which one here, which choice that we take from the right side? We take D. So 3, we take D because taking fertility drugs can be dangerous. We read this together. Number 3, people need to think about the risks because taking fertility drugs can be dangerous. Number 4, friends and family help Bobby, the choice here, the other side, because it is difficult to take care of all the children at the same time. So people help the McCoys because it is difficult to take care of the kids. So number 4, we have the right choice is C. Now we have 2 lines. One is going to be the effect and the other to be the reason. Let's look at the example, and we want to do the rest together. Number 2, on page 136, decide which sentence comes first. Then combine them into one sentence with because. So we have 2 sentences and we want to combine them, put them together. Combine يعني put them together, يعني اربطهم. Combine them with because. Look at the example that's solved, يعني محلول. The doctor was surprised. The doctor found 7 babies, not just 1. So how it was solved? The doctor was surprised because he found 7 babies, not just 1. Now we want to read these separate sentences and we need to put them together, and we see how can we put them together. The septuplets have very special parents. The septuplets are very lucky. So how can we form this? The septuplets are very lucky because they have very special parents. This is the answer. Number 3, there are a lot of children in McCoy's house. First sentence. The second sentence, the McCoy's house is usually noisy. So how can we put these 2 sentences together and link them with because? So we'll have something like the McCoy's house is usually noisy because there are a lot of children in the house. Number 4, the Dions had a difficult life. This is the first sentence. The second sentence is people used the Dions to make money. So if we want to link these sentences together, we are talking about the number 4. So this is going to be the Dions had a difficult life because people used them to make money, or just because the people used them. Number 5, many people help the McCoys. It isn't easy to raise 8 children. So if we want to combine these together, then we will have something like this. Many people help the McCoys because it isn't easy to raise 8 children. Now we go to number 6, and this is the last sentence of this exercise. We have the Dions were worried about the septuplets' future. The other sentence said the Dions wrote the McCoys a letter. How can we combine them? We might combine them something like this. The Dions wrote the McCoys a letter because they were worried about the septuplets' future. As you see in this exercise, sometimes we start with the sentence number 1 and because goes to the sentence number 2. Sometimes we start with number 2 and because goes before sentence number 1. So this is because this is the reason that because precedes or comes before يعني تجي قبل السبب, the reason. Now we are going to do something about writing. So now I think that you have good information about the Dion's family and the 5 children or the 5 sisters and the McCoy's family who has 7 children. And we know the parents, the good parents who are taking care of their kids and the parents who cannot take care of the kids where the government took them and they were not that يعني in a happy life. And we have the other story about the prediction, if you remember, about Lisa and her husband Harry who went to the fortune teller and to predict what is she going to have, a boy or a girl, and what is the future of the children. And I mentioned this is not in our religion, but we study this because we need to know at least how others think, and we need to learn some of the words and the vocabularies and something about the Western culture. So these are the benefits that I hope that we get from the reading and from the course, the English course that you have been taking. So now we are going to page 137 with all the information that we have in mind, and then we need to do some kind of writing. Look at the slides in here. We have writing topics. First says write a paragraph about McCoy's future. Here now you know the McCoys and the McCoy's kids and McCoy's the future of the kids. So just predict this. Just think about this. The importance in here is to write good sentences, even though sometimes we have variation. عندنا اختلافات between the writings of the students, especially if they are males or females. So it is okay because our goal is to teach you how to write. And it's up to you. We respect the way that you think. So you know the story, but we don't have anything about the future of the 7 or 8 children of the McCoy's family. So predict this thing, that whether they are going to be happy, whether they are going to be together, whether they are going to have anything. So just use your imagination and write this. So this is one of the concepts that I want you to write, and then if you have something, we might discuss this with a partner, so they might help you in finding the mistakes and how to expand يعني expand your ideas and correct your mistakes. So this is number one, and we go to number two. The slide says, write a paragraph about the life of twins or triplets you know. Second one, you write a paragraph about the twins or the triplets that you know, if you know. If you know, then just from your own experience with these twins or triplets, how people get confused between them, how they are similar, how they are different, whether they like each other, whether they fight with each other, all these things. Just use your imagination and imagine that you are talking about something that you know and the others don't know. This is the way that we want you to expand your writing. The third thing that we have in writing is to write 2 paragraphs about someone you know. Now here is kind of expanding your writing. Instead of 1 paragraph, we need you to write 2 paragraphs. The first paragraph about what he or she does. So if that person, if is he or she, what he does, so mean that what is his job, how is he doing in his job, so his living or her living, or everything about his life at the moment or at the time that you know this behavior of that person. And the second paragraph, according to this information that you collected on that person, the second paragraph is going to be about what he or she is going to be in 10 years. So mostly it's not something that we know, the unseen, but sometimes, for example, if you start the university, so you are expected to graduate in 4 years. If you want to continue, then you are expected to have your master or PhD in 8 or 10 or in 15 years. So this is something that if we plan something, we might have what we plan. So this paragraph, as I said, first paragraph give explanation about the life of that person, whether that person is a man or a woman, and the second paragraph is the prediction of that person, what's going to be in 10 years, according to the work or the study or the business. Mostly people think in advance, either whether in studying or in business or in having children or in traveling or doing whatever they want to do. So it seems to me that the writing about this topic is a little bit interesting because it touches our life, and we can discuss these things with others. And so just I want to say one more thing, that don't write about something or the plans in your future just because you want to write about this. You can modify things. Instead of saying that you are going to be this and that, and you are going to do this business or that business. So write about someone who did this and who does this, and he might be or she might be this person or this in this job in 10 years. And in the production, the second paragraph, when we say that you need to write about the future of that person, use the expression verb to be and going to and the base form. For example, this person is going to get his PhD is is going to have or to get his PhD in 10 years, and he is going or she is going to get married, or she is going to have 2 or 3 children, or she is going to buy a house or something like this. So yes, people all the time are predicting something in their life, which is good. It is kind of planning. Here, the last part in this, which might be a little bit interesting, and sometimes we don't pay much attention. يعني ما نعطيه اهتمام الزايد, which is the expenses. Sometimes people say that, okay, if we have 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 children, it doesn't make big difference. But when we think about this, on page 138, we have we can estimate, يعني نقدر, estimate the expenses that we pay on if we have 1 child, or if we have, let's say, 8 children, as the case of McCoy's children. So imagine that even though we have these, the haircut, here the expenses per year, يعني بالسنة, how many times that you do this haircut, whether it's if it's a boy or a girl, and for 1 child, imagine, I don't know, but you can calculate this, the haircut in 1 year, how much you pay on 1 child, and then multiply by 8, then how much you are going to pay this for 8 children, and visit the doctor. Here, roughly put the estimation. I want you to put this estimation, how much you do this. Lessons here says piano, dance, karate, etc. We might not use this, but you might substitute these questions or these statements or these expenses with the ones that you think are appropriate. يعني you might think that these are not we don't do, then change these things, as you see at the end. 1 pair of shoes, how much does it cost just to pay for the shoes for 1 child per year, and what about if you have 8 children? And clothing, this is mostly this. We pay a lot of money on buying clothing for kids, and whether the kids are boys or girls. And we have computer games, this is another thing, or yes, if you think that they are good, then toys or books. So how much we pay on toys for 1 child, so multiply by 8, يعني اضربها 8. Movie or video rentals, in some places you might not have this, in other places. If you think that this is not, we don't do, just ignore this. And as you see, others, we have 3 other things that you think that we pay on 1 child. For example, just if we think about for the babies, the diapers or the milk or something, that you think that how much you pay on 1 child and how much you pay on the 8. So, and at the end we have the total. So calculate this on 1 child and then calculate this on 8 children. And by the end of this, you can write how much a person pay on a child and how much does it cost for a person to raise 8 children. And you will find good information and something amazing that you don't know or we don't pay attention to, but it's good that to do this exercise and to write a report or your feeling about this. So just to write a letter about this, and by the end of this session we conclude the English course of the students of second level of Da'wah and the students of the fourth level of Sharia. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And I hope that you get benefit out of this, and see you in the advanced levels. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
هناك مسائل عديدة جدا.
أنه يجوز إعطاء الزكاة لصنف واحد،
لأن رسالة محمد عليه الصلاة والسلام خاتمة.